Chapter 5. A Foot in the Door. Saeed and I have a beer together, and I tell him all about the Lithuanian case. "A father-daughter problem, eh?" says Saeed. "Well, I know all about difficult fathers." Saeed is from an Indian family. He and his sister Layla have their problems with a difficult father too. But Saeed never talks about his problems. He just does his job. He's a good detective. "So, you did a good job there? A happy ending?" says Saeed. "Yes and no," I say. "One more thing to do." We finish our beer and leave. "Say hi to Layla for me," I say. Layla is my best friend. She's a lawyer. Layla, Saeed and I have a lot of arguments about the law, and the police, and private investigators. We have a good time. I'm always right, of course. The next day is Saturday. I do some work on my laptop in the office and think about the Lithuanian case. How many young men are there like Tomas Varnas? I think about it some more, then I leave and walk to the Williams house. It's not far from my office. Mrs. Williams opens the door, sees me, and tries to shut the door again. But my foot is in the door. "Can I come in, Mrs. Williams?" I say. "Just for a minute." "It's Saturday. My husband's at home," Edith Williams says. "Please speak quietly. Look, I've got your money ready. Here it is. And thank you. Carrie is texting me every day now, so I know she's all right. Please, go now. Please don't." "Who's that at the door, Edith?" It's a man's voice. A big, strong voice. "Oh, nobody," Mrs. Williams says quickly. But I'm inside the door now, and looking at Mr. Williams. "Oh, hello," he says. "Who are you?" "Shirley Holmes, private investigator. How do you do? Your wife wanted me to find Carrie and to talk to her boyfriend." "What?" Mr. Williams turns to his wife. "What did I say to you, Edith?" he shouts. "We're finished with that girl. We don't speak to her. We don't talk about her. And it's good news, Mr. Williams." I use my head teacher voice again. He's still shouting at his wife. So I shout too. And smile and smile. "Yes, it's very good news, Mr. Williams. Your daughter Carrie is alive and well and living in London. And she has a wonderful boyfriend." Mr. Williams stops shouting and stares at me. Behind him, I can just see Darren's head. He's looking round a door with big eyes. Carrie's boyfriend is a very nice young man. His name is Thomas Varnas. He's 19 years old. He's a hard worker. He's kind. He's a foreigner, Mr. Williams says angrily. You have a problem with foreigners? I say. Mrs. Williams closes her eyes. She's waiting for something. What? A lot of bad language about foreigners from her husband? I look at Mr. Williams again. But he isn't saying anything. He's just staring at me, angrily. And suddenly, I understand. His problem isn't with foreigners. It's with his daughter. He wants to know that Carrie is all right. He wants to hear about her boyfriend. He wants to see her, to have her back home. But he can't find the words. He just can't say it. I speak quickly. Thomas is a very nice young man. I say it again. It's an important message. He works hard. He's doing 2 jobs, and he's going to make a good life for him and Carrie. He speaks very good English, and he's kind, and he's funny, but he's strong too. He thinks family is important, and he wants Carrie to come back home, to be friends with her mother, her father, her brother. All 3 of them are listening to me now. Darren has a big smile on his face. Oh, and Carrie is living with Thomas's sister. Not with Thomas, you know. Carrie wants to get married when she's 16 next year. But Thomas wants to wait. He wants to meet the family. And he wants Carrie to meet his family. So, you see, Thomas Varnas is a good man. A really good man. He's a boyfriend to please any father in Britain, Mr. Williams. Carrie's father opens his mouth and closes it again. He still can't find the words. So now you know all about him, Mr. Williams. Meet him. Talk to him. Ask him to Sunday lunch. I turn to Mrs. Williams. Do you usually have Sunday lunch? You know, that wonderful British meal? All foreigners love it. Yes, she says. Yes. I always do a nice Sunday lunch. Well, there you are then, I say. I smile around at everybody. Sunday lunch. That's a good way to meet your daughter's boyfriend. I take my money from Mrs. Williams, give Darren a big smile and a wave, and walk to the front door. Nobody's shouting, nobody's crying. So far, so good. Have a nice day, everyone, I say, and close the door behind me. Chapter 6. A surprise visitor. The next 3 weeks are busy. I have a new case to work on, and I'm out of the office nearly every day. I don't like the client very much, but the case is an interesting one. On Saturday morning, I'm in the office again. I have a lot of emails to write, so I'm not pleased when my doorbell rings. The computer screen shows me a man at the door. Well, what a surprise! I hit the open door button, and the man comes in. Mr. Williams, good morning. How are you? I say. What does he want? Morning, Ms. Holmes. He's not friendly. He's not unfriendly. He looks around my little room. Nice office, he says. Can you see the river from your window? He walks to the window, looks out. What does he want? Does he just want to talk about my office? Maybe the weather's next. It's colder today, he says. Autumn's coming. I wait. He comes away from the window. Can I sit down? Just for a minute? Of course. Please, I say. Now he looks at me. I just wanted to say, well, you were right about Thomas Varnas. He's a fine young man. I like him a lot. Well, that's great, Mr. Williams. I'm very pleased. So tell me, what happened? He smiles and gets comfortable in my best chair. He wants to tell me all about it. We asked him to Sunday lunch, like you said, and he and Carrie came to lunch and stayed all day. Lots to talk about, he laughs. Me and Carrie have an argument, of course, but we always do. Tom, I call him Tom now, you see, is very good for Carrie. He doesn't get excited and angry like Carrie does. And Carrie listens to him. He laughs again. She never listens to me. I smile and say something about the father-daughter thing. So Carrie's back home with us now. Tom comes round every evening, of course, and weekends. He's out with Darren now, playing football. Darren thinks he's wonderful. Thomas is a big brother for Darren, I say. That's right, says Mr. Williams. Oh, and Carrie's back at school too. She wants to do business studies. Then she can help Tom with his linen business. She's got a good head for business, you know, he laughs. My little Carrie, a businesswoman. He stands up Well, you're busy, I can see that. I just wanted to tell you about Tom. I like good news, Mr. Williams, I say. And it was good of you to come. I walk with him to the door. At the door, he says, You helped my family a lot. Maybe one day you need help. Just call me. He gives me his business card. Anything. Who knows? Who knows? I'm going to remember those words.